That's what you do. You buy these players that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, to the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without the truth. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second series.
We are on the site of the castle,
and it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hello everyone, it's footy night tonight, and all the rumours, everyone going on, faces saying, look who we're after, look who we're about to sign. I want your opinions on it actually, because do you believe them? Do you believe that? How many times have we gone after players on it? As I said, I think we'll sign at least one marquee signer. And we'll after this Frimpong, is he a marquee signer? That's what I want you to answer me. Is he a marquee signer? Then there's the rumours about Kevin De Bruyne. Would you like him on a free? Remember Richard Hughes, Mr. Invisible Man? Remember him? When he said, opportunistic, we're in for opportunistic. Remember that? There you go. Opportunistic. But anyway, it's I just want to I've got a couple of guests on with me tonight, boys, and I just want to mention these wonderful people who sponsor the Frank Carlyle shows, and there they are, Gap Painting Services, fully time served, fully insured, these lads. If you're an NHS worker, get them in. Don't struggle. Please don't struggle, and you get a special discount. If you're fully insured, if you're there, I'm so tired, to be honest. I've been up since 6 o'clock. Anyway, that's by the by. The fully insured, as I said, and if you're a pensioner, an elderly person, don't struggle trying to decorate for the summer. Please don't. Get them in. Again, you get a special discount, a very special discount to our elderly. Get them in. Don't struggle. Please. And that's Gap Painting Services who support the Frank Carlyle show. And these lads here, not them lads there in the photograph, but the wonderful Michael Dean and his lovely wife Michelle, who own at Scarf or a Badge. Very reasonable prices. I've got one on now. One of the shirts, t-shirts. If you're going away on your holidays, get these t-shirts. They're absolutely brilliant. And wear them with pride. Show them that you're a big red. Just show them you're a big red going away. It's fantastic. I do when I go away. Edward. Hello, Frank. Looks like Frimpong is advancing. I just want you to say, if he looks good. Even if Frank says Barry Aldridge, think we need to see these players put a pen to paper. Yeah, and he's talking to Edward. And even Edward says he looks good. I'll be asking the lads what do they think when they come on. And the vlogs, Lee. Hello, Frank. Hope all is good. The only one I believe up to now is Frimpong. The others I'm not so sure about. Okay, good point. Barry Elders. He does, but so do many tan leather shoes, mate. Barry, stop throwing. Says Edward. Just go down here, boys. Addy says, crimping sound like it will happen. 35 million get-out clause, right up FSG Street. Yes. But we always thought that Kvaratskhelia, 58, 57, 58 million was up there, the street, until the fucking big spin came out about Kvaratskhelia, saying he was an unknown quantity. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we believe he was an unknown quantity. Fuck off. I don't listen to rumours. I only listen to when the sign says that Edbird, same as me. You were supposed to smile, Edward. Paul Beck, my old mate. Good evening, Franco. Hope you're well. Okay. And we've got to get through this anyway. And Christopher, hi Frank, and everyone. What does everyone think about Frimpong? Is it Frimpong merrily in high? Oh, Frimpong merrily on high. Or will he cause a smell? Well, there you go. I'm going to bring on Darryl, because he's been waiting since 6 o'clock this morning. I've seen him waiting there. And hey, Darryl.
Hey, Frank, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, see you. Yeah, you're okay?
Yeah, how you doing? All right.
Okay. Well, what about? I'm gonna bring Dino. I'm gonna ask him the same question. Right. What's this about Frimpong, and do you fancy him?
I do, because he's very attacking, and he'll go well for the attack, and he's also he can be, if Salah gets injured, a ready-made replacement if he does, or he's tired. But defensively, his game's not that great, so that's the only thing I'm worried about. Or does Slot change system completely? I don't know.
Okay. The same goes for Dino. There he is. Hey, Dino.
All right.
You're okay?
Sam, mate, to you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, to be honest. I'm just asking, the same question. Frimpong, do you fancy him? If he comes,
I do, mate, to be fair. Yeah, I do. I think he's got a lot of the qualities that Slot looks for in a right back. Quite similar to that Gertrude who played at right back for Slot. Dynamic, can play anywhere on the right side. And also, as Darryl said, about him filling in for Mo Salah. I mean, Salah's going to be going to the AFCON in January, and Frimpong will cover a variety of options for Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, Edward says Slot's partying in Ibiza. Most probably he is. And Eddie says, reckon Frimpong could play with Bradley behind him. What about that suggestion there, Dino?
Yeah, totally agree. Like, as I say, he can play anywhere on the right-hand side. And I think this argument about his defensive liabilities coming into question. Like, I've seen a stat today that Trent's been dribbled past 55 times this season, and apparently Frimpong's only been dribbled past 55 times in 3 seasons. So
so you've done your stats there. You've done your analysis, eh?
Yeah, it's not I don't think he's as much of a defensive liability as what people are saying. Read
the Liverpool vlogs. He says, when Fabrizio may tip him someone or Sky Sports, there are only two that will lead me to believe something is happening. So that's Fabrizio Romano.
They're all running with it at the minute.
Yeah, everyone, social networks full of it. Even our Francine, I was talking to Francine, and she said the same, everything. Is, now, I seen a post by you, well, not a post, a comment on Dino talking to. What it was about Trent.
Yeah.
It was about Trent. And what Trent coming on, and it split the whole of the fan base, because there's people who I know, and regard them as friends.
Yeah.
We were saying that it was embarrassing, the booing, right? It was embarrassing. I disagree with them, I'm being honest. I'll tell you for why I disagree. You can disagree with me if you want. Now, where it is. I solely put the blame on Slot, because Trent within 48 hours came out and said, I'm going. And the way I seen it, I didn't really, I was quite surprised when I seen him sitting on the bench in the squad. Yeah. This is me speaking. Yeah. This is me, my opinion. And I was very surprised, because what I thought was, he's just come out and said, I'm going to Real Madrid. To me, he's wearing a Real Madrid shirt. He's wearing it. He's not ready to wear it because he says, fuck you, Liverpool, I'm going. Okay. That's to me, he said. Now, you get to the people who were calling our fans. I love our fans, every one of them. And they booed him. What did they expect them to do? Sit back and say nothing, do nothing, and just let him play. Because to me and our fans, he's turned his back on Liverpool. You've only got to look what the fans did. You've only got to look from a 6-year-old coming up to make him what he is today. And the way he brought about running down his contract. And then with 3 games to go, he comes out and says, oh, by the way, I'm going. I think that was disgusting. So our fans are not supposed to say anything. Is that it? Is that the way, our other fans who are calling them an embarrassment? You don't boo our players. Well, let me fucking tell you lot. We do. And all you've got to look at is young Raheem Sterling. They boo him every fucking time. And I'll tell you why they boo him. Because he walked out of Liverpool. But what they forget is that he was being bullied by the manager at the time by giving him notes, envelopes. You're going to get an envelope. Even in training, getting an envelope. He was a kid. He was being bullied. So he turned around, he said, I've had a fucking enough of this, I can't carry on with this. And he said, when Rodgers, I hate saying that man's name, when he was actually sacked, does anybody have any idea what he said? Raheem Sterling, what did he say as soon as Rodgers was sacked? Any idea?
Yeah, he'd go back to Liverpool.
Yeah, he said, I would never have left if I knew that he was being sacked. Because he loved playing for us. Now you're getting these other fans saying, oh, look at Trent. He's given 20 years. You can't expect the best player to come out of the academy. You can't boo him. No, he's not the fucking best player to come out of the academy. I think they're forgetting one other lad who won us the European Cup 20 years ago. 2005, if I can add up and take away and divide and everything else. And that was Steven Gerrard. You never compare Trent Alexander to Steven Gerrard.
Never.
But anyway, your take, Dino, on all the booing and everything else, did they have a right to boo? Did they have a right to show their frustration and their anger? Because what the Liverpool fans are saying, oh, these are outsiders. No, they're fucking not outsiders. My grandson was there and he was fuming at Trent. Fuming at Slot. He blamed Slot, and so did my other grandson who goes to the game for bringing them on. And I'm just being told that by Francine. Because I said to her, I blame Slot for all this episode. He's fucking either stupid or naive. Dino, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I commented on your show on it after the game on Sunday, Frank, and I said Slot led the room. And, you know, the seed was already planted during the team getting read out. There was a smatter and a booze when his name was announced that he was on the bench.
Yeah.
There was a smatter and a booze when he ran out to warm up. So it was inevitable, really, that there was going to be some kind of negative reaction to him, which, in my opinion, is fully justified. Although I prefer not to boo, I still understand that it's your right. If you're paying your money to go through them turnstiles, then you've got a right to do whatever you feel is necessary in that moment. Yep. And we live in a free society, Frank. So you know, if you want to boo, that's your right, that's your entitlement. And as far as I'm concerned, Trent Alexander-Arnold brought it on himself.
He did bring it on himself, and Slot escalated it by bringing him on the pitch.
Yeah, as soon as it came out that Trent was off, as far as I'm concerned, he's finished. I don't want to see him no more. You know, you're not committed to Liverpool Football Club. What's your efforts and all that?
Hey, Russell.
You're right. You're right, lad. So, you know, you're no longer committed to Liverpool Football Club. So, you know, thanks very much for everything that you've done, but in a bit.
So, what do you think, Darryl, of the booing? And do you think they were justified, as Dino's just said? You know, you pay your money and you've got a choice either to stand still and say nothing and not vent your anger, you know, at a Liverpool player. Go on.
Well, I'm not going to lie. When I was sitting at home watching the game, I was booing myself. I was booing as a fan, sat at home booing it, because he never should have been in the match that day squad. Slot got it completely wrong. He never knew. He clearly didn't know what Liverpool was really about, and the fans and the passion. It was always going to come for me with Trent, because back in the day when you had the likes of Matt Manaman and that, we knew he was leaving. And same with Michael Owen, we knew he was going to leave. We knew he was leaving because he come out and said it. And like Trent, but Trent has stayed quiet. He sat back for 2 seasons without saying a word whether he was staying or going, and that's what's cost him really with us. He should have announced it a lot sooner. Even when Jurgen left, he knew he was going when Jurgen left. Yeah. So he should have said something. But the fans, in my opinion, the fans were right to voice their opinion, because he kept quiet. So, for me, 100%.
And it's wrong, isn't it? You know, but I would never go on, social media and say it's an embarrassment for all Liverpool fans. No, it's not an embarrassment. You've got to show your anger and your frustration, mostly frustration. Why did Trent run it down? And as you said there, for 2 years, because someone was in his ear. Someone was in his ear. Run your contract down. Don't sign a contract because they won't pay the money. That shows you what Real Madrid are like. Now, I said on someone's post, I said, Real Madrid, what do Liverpool fans think of him? They think of them. Because we don't like Real Madrid. We prefer Barcelona. If we're looking for scores, we look at Barca's score, not Real Madrid, because of what they are, because of the establishment, because of everything Real Madrid stand for. And it's shocking they're getting away with tapping up players, getting other players to tap them up. And that's the way I look at Real Madrid. I think they're an awful, horrible team. I really do. Horrible club. But that's me.
I think they're doing the same with Frank.
What?
I think they're doing the same with Canate. They're trying to talk to him and tap him up.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
What I would like to say though, Frank, is that whilst I agree that with your right to boo in the ground, like I agree with booing him coming onto the field, you know what I mean, or warming up or whatever. But the only part of it that I don't agree with is when he's on the ball. You're booing every touch, because at that point, you're having a negative effect on Liverpool getting a result. And as it transpired, in the end, it sort of did work against us, and that is largely down to Slot for putting him on. But I think the fans should have stopped once he was on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that, because my grandson, James, he said as soon as he came on, negativity went. He was there, you were there. And, I went to see him to go around the players. It just seemed, there's someone, a Liverpool player, being booed, and has affected them. That's what the young James said. That's what he said anyway. Whether it was, I wasn't there. I was doing a watch along, and I was sick when he came on. Yeah. I never showed it, but I was sick as a pig when he came on, and I blame Slot for all this. I blame him. I don't blame Trent, I blame him.
Yeah, same.
And our fans should realise that, could some fans be booing their Slot for doing it? Has anybody thought of that? Could be booing him. And he lost respect for him for that. He split our old fan base. He split them. And it's wrong. He split them. First season, wins the league and split the fan base.
I think though, Frank, it was only announced a couple of days before the game, so it was still raw. Do you know what I mean? It was like, if it was like a few months ago that he announced he was going, he wouldn't have been getting booed. It would have happened months, weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? But the fact is, he's not only announced that he's leaving, it then the following day comes out that Real Madrid won him for the Club World Cup. You know what I mean? So it's like everyone's like 2-2 and making 6. You know what I mean? It's like it's showing there. It's showing this that Trent's being dishonest.
Of course, it's hypocrisy as well.
Yeah.
Because he's got a moral outside, and a fantastic moral. With his quote, the dream, with his quote there.
Yeah.
Well, that's all gone now. That's finished. That. And his dream quote is hypocrisy. Because for 2 years, as we all know, Daryl mentioned it, he's been a Real Madrid player. And I bring into question his injuries as well, because he's been out for a long time. First time I've ever seen him injured so many times in the season. And I've thought, hang on, has he been keeping back just in case he gets injured, a serious injury? But, he does have to play there throughout the season, some games. I don't know. There's something horrible about it. Something smells about it. And that's me. I've finished with that lad. I supported him. Even my granddaughter Sophia is devastated. She's 12 years of age. She's got Trent on her back. And I feel sorry for the kids as well. Like my granddaughter.
I think though, Frank, if Trent would have been honest from the beginning and said, look, I want a new challenge. I'm not going to sign a new contract, but you know, given Liverpool at least 12 months, you know, for Real Madrid to come, or for Trent to say, you know what, I'm going to sign a contract if you insert some kind of a clause, which is like possible for Real Madrid to meet if he really wanted it that much. If he loved the club as much as he said he would, he'd say to Real Madrid, listen, if you want me, pay for me, or come to a compromise with Liverpool.
Yeah, and Francine said exactly the same. She said that, and she mentioned Jack Grealish. Before he was running down, he wasn't running down his contract. His contract was up, but he signed a contract so that they could get money for him.
Same with Coutinho. For all his, like, you know, feigning injuries and all that with his back, he signed a contract to ensure that Liverpool made off him.
Exactly.
Suarez as well. Suarez signed a 5-year deal.
Louis, yeah. So, you know.
And when it's your own that's like just turning his back on you, it cuts deep.
Well, yeah, here's a question for you. Here's a question for the both of you. Go to you on this, Darryl.
Yeah.
And Adi says, do you think Trent will play against Palace?
Not a chance. Won't even be in the matchday squad from now. No way. No, not a chance.
Okay.
Not for me.
All right, do you know?
Because of the situation of Sunday, and also all the players are in Dubai now, and it's a leaving party for Trent apparently. So I don't know whether we've seen the last of him or not. But I'd be very, very shocked if he made an appearance against Palace. And I'd be even more shocked if the club tried to do some kind of give him some kind of a send-off with like a plaque on the pitch and all that. Because
don't want to do that.
No, they won't have learned anything.
No.
From today.
Great comment.
I think that'll be done private. I think that'll be done behind the scenes privately, plaque. I think.
Yeah. I think, you know, with what happened against Arsenal, I think that'll be the end of it. This year, going away party in Dubai. I think we have seen the last of them, to be honest, because I don't think Slot. He has been getting the blame. Actually, you know, he hasn't been totally exonerated from the blame. People are blaming him for bringing him up, for putting him in the squad. Never mind bringing him up, putting him in the squad in the first place. After just 48 hours after he says, yeah, I'm going there, I'm going to Madrid. Because to me, he was wearing the Real Madrid white. Yeah. That was it. He's gone. He's a Real Madrid player. I don't know. I just want to get away from it now. So,
is Ed been elsewhere for a while, really, Trent?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I've heard stories about January, and in January when Real Madrid came in for him, Trent wanted to go. He wanted to go in January, but the club told him that the only way you're going is if you put a transfer request in, which he refused to do.
Well, if you put a transfer request in, you get no money, do you?
No. If he put a transfer request in, what it does is that it's straight. So Liverpool can say to the fans, look, he's put a transfer request and he wants to go, so we're going to accept it. Because I'm sure Liverpool would rather have taken the 20 million quid than use him for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you know, it's one of those issues that'll be spoken about for a very long time. This won't finish, like, I'm going to finish it now, by the way. Go on to different things, fucking friends. But it will be spoken about for a very long time. It really will. Steve McManaman did the same, you know. He went away on a free, but he told Liverpool. All the fans knew that at the end of the season, he was off.
Different circumstances. I mean, when McManaman, the club were miles away from challenging for honours. And I was at the game. I was at the game against Coventry. We played Coventry away a couple of days after the Macher had announced he was leaving, and he scored and he got booed. I remember it. And like McManaman was my hero, you know, when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think he was everyone's. Steve McManaman was a great player, but as you said, it didn't have the same effect as it has on Trent, because what people say, oh, he's won everything, he needs a new challenge. Fuck off, he needs a new challenge.
And it's just sad more than anything else.
It's greed
took it
more
now,
than anything
Coutinho,
else.
to be fair. Ola took that money
See
now.
that again,
They're offering now. Let him go
Darryl?
to the Club World Cup. Let him go. Let him go now. Let him go.
Yeah, I would.
Anyway, Edward says, I wouldn't play him again, especially in the last game. It will ruin lifting the trophy. Does everybody agree with that? I do.
Yeah.
I do. Good comment.
I don't think he'd get booed again, personally. I think everyone said what they wanted to say and let him know how we feel.
Yeah, but again, as Edward said, I think it was a great comment what he said. I wouldn't play him again, especially on the last game. It will ruin, or could ruin, lifting the trophy. Now, don't see. He did half-heartedly. This is the way I look at it now. Half-heartedly contribute for us winning the league. I really believe that. But for people to be looking at him and him smiling and everything, he's not smiling. He's smiling. People will be thinking, well, he's smiling that he's going to live in Madrid and play for Real Madrid. Not smiling because we won the league and loving the fans. That's a load of bollocks now. Anyway, let's just. It could have been Slot letting the fans vent on him. I think he might be ruthless like that, in my opinion. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's wrong now. Okay.
I think it's too black and white.
Yeah. And the Redbird says Trent turned down offers from Liverpool because he knew he was going to Real for a massive sign-on fee. That's why he ran his contract out. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And he carries on by saying, other fan bases boo ex-players. Also, do you remember when the Gooners demanded Wenger to be sacked? Yeah. Yeah.
And Jacker as well.
And as he said, get us off your chest, like. Callum. Redbird, remember Everton fan lobbed that flare into the eye of security night of the derby in February. Well, that's got nothing to do with it. That's got nothing. The vlogs. Let's see what he has to say. I was the same being at Anfield. I didn't boo myself either, but he shouldn't have been in the squad, to be honest. I'd rather have had a young lad have that spot and come on, maybe young Rio or Chiesa. What do you think of Chiesa, Dino? I'm not getting any chances. I
mean, there's got to be a reason why Slot doesn't fancy. Maybe he's not working hard enough for training. I don't know, but I'm as surprised by it as you are, me, to be honest.
Well, I said when we were in for him last year, before it was just a rumour that we were in for him. I said he won't get it. Honestly, Darryl will tell you. I said he will hardly play for Liverpool. I know he'll hardly play. Didn't I say that, Darryl?
Yeah, he did. He had no chance really. He was just an appeasement signing, as you said, Frank. Just to say, here you go to the fans, and that was it. Nothing more.
I said he's an appeasement signing. Did you like what? I'll go to you, Gino. No, I'll go to you, Darryl.
Yeah.
What they were saying about, I was looking at, you wasn't there, you was at the game, Dino, so you can't really comment, but listen to what John Barnes said on the side of the pitch, before the game, that LFC TV. I was listening to him, and he said, we don't really need to buy anyone, especially, I'll say marquee signings, but he's saying, these superstars, we don't need them because we've got this squad. Go ahead.
I think John Barnes was smoking something there, to be honest. We definitely need a lot of players. Whether Barnsley's just saying that for the FSG, so he can't come out with anything because of FSG listening or watching or whatever, but we need a lot of players. He also, I don't know whether you saw his comment when he said, Real Madrid not for everybody, like me. I turned them down, he said. Did you see that?
No.
But we
I
need
stopped
players.
listening to Barnes years ago. I stopped listening.
Yeah.
As soon as he fucking reviewed the Sun, I stopped listening to what he had to say. But I listened to that, and I couldn't believe. What do you think of that, Dino? What John Barnes said? We don't need anyone.
I don't know whether Barnes is looking at it too literally because he's been a player himself and all that, and he's looking at the players and he's thinking they just won the league, so do they really need me? I think a lot of it depends on the outgoings more than anything else. I think we're going to have a lot of outgoings, so we are going to need to get players in. And all the noises is that it's going to be a big summer. But hold me breath. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, don't hold your breath too long, or you'll never appear on here. You'll be dead. You'll hold your breath. Okay, now. See, it just shows you, though, doesn't it? With these summer war chests and everybody coming out saying it's going to be great. Look who we're getting. They're putting all names there. Loads of names are going up on different podcasts. And we've come to, I don't know about you lads, but I've come to look at it with a pinch of salt in the war chest because we never have a war chest, a summer war chest. Go on. Anyone?
I don't think there's going to be a war chest. It's going to be sell to buy, as it always is. I think there's going to be a lot of players offloaded. To be honest, I'm pretty sure Harvey Elliott's going to be sold. Simicast will be sold. Nunez and Jota. I'm just hoping Diaz stays because I think Diaz deserves another season or two because he's been brilliant in the last couple of months.
Yes.
So I'm hoping Diaz stays.
No, okay. I think that's a great call. What do you think of what Daryl's just said, especially about Diaz? Do you hope he stays?
I love Diaz. I think Diaz is great, and I think he's a great footballer. He's quick. Skill, and we shipped in with his fair share of goals and assists this season, which is what we've been waiting to do. So I've got no issues with Diaz, and Diaz's report come out and said he wants to sign a new contract. So that's what we want. We want players who are committed, who want to wear the shirt. So get him signed. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Well, even Kenny Dalglish says, why go to another club? There's no one better than Liverpool. I know that Kenny's a bit biased, obviously, saying that. Yeah. But, he's saying he's enveloping everything. The likes of you and me and everybody else. The fans, you've got the fans behind you. Remember when Casino left on Jürgen said to him, if you go to Barcelona, you're a legend here. They'll build statues for you. And only Casino came out, didn't he, a few weeks ago and said, I was sorry I left. Jürgen was right. See what I mean? And that's the way it is. Leave Liverpool. That's it. Goodbye. That's the end of it. That's me now. Christopher says, I think Slot knew exactly what he was doing. I knew the reaction of some of the fans. I think he was, if that's the case, he knew, Christopher, I think he's a stupid person. I'd rather say he's not stupid, but naive. He doesn't know the fans. It's all right, sitting on the, at the side of the pitch and listening to the crowds and singing it, and he thinks, I know these. He fucking doesn't know us. And I think that proved it. Against Arsenal, he hasn't a clue about us, and I didn't like the way he split the fan base. That's me though. And he did split it. No one can take that as he didn't. Nobody. The vlog says, it was nice hearing Anfield singing the Jesus song. I wonder if that will make Slot realise, hold on, I think the fans want to see more of Chiesa in the next 2 games. You're right, Frank, appeasement by sadly. Dino.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm not telling
Oh,
you. No, let me read it out, so just listen. The vlog says, nice hearing Anfield singing the Chiesa song. I wonder if that will make Slot realise, hold on, I think the fans want to see more of Chiesa in the next 2 games. And you're right, Frank, appeasement by sadly.
No, I don't think Slot fancies him, and the one thing I like about Slot is that he seems like a straight shooter. He's quite cold-blooded, Slot. You know, he comes across as very calm and all that, but I think if you're not like producing, then he won't have you, and that's why the likes of Harvey Elliott and players like that have struggled to get in. He'll give you a chance, and if he doesn't like the look of you, you know, he'll do without you. So I'd be surprised. Maybe you might see Chiesa at Brighton on Monday night, but I don't think you'll see him at Anfield.
Well, okay, you know, I think you made a valid point, good points actually. You know, by saying he doesn't fancy it. Now, we all know that he doesn't fancy Quansah. Now, you know, he's going to be with us next season. Do you think Quansah will be pushed out, gone this summer? If he definitely doesn't fancy him.
I think Quansah's got all the attributes, but I think at the same time he's his own worst enemy. He's far too laid back. Like he doesn't like to engage into tackles, and he doesn't seem to throw himself into challenges. And I think that's one thing that, you know, you can never say about Van Dijk. Van Dijk's on the front foot all the time. Will it come with Quansah? I'm not so sure, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't have a problem if we did let him go. I think there's a reason why the manager doesn't fancy him, and I know we done well under Klopp and all that, but I just think circumstances were different. I think, like, you know, that like little bit of beginner's luck where everything looked great for him, and the team was playing well at the time and stuff. But since the Ipswich game, he's just like a shadow of the player. That
he is a shadow. Well, what do you think of that, Darryl?
I think with Quansah, I think he hasn't been on form since basically he came in for Konate. He's not been on form, has he? Because he dropped Konate for a while and brought in Quansah, didn't he? I think that was January, maybe. And he hasn't looked great. I think Slot's got a decision to make with whether it's Quansah or Gomez who he's going to offload. It's going to be one of those two who's going to depart the club, I think, because I think they're seriously looking at centre-backs at the moment.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I think Quansah might stay, and I think Joe Gomez might be sold because I think he wants to leave. So that's where I feel about that.
Okay. The Red Bear says Wenger said Trent knew he was leaving a long time ago.
Yeah.
Here's our Manchester United fan, boys. He's a lovely fella. He's a lovely fella. He's been welcomed into the family. He looks at all the pods and everything. And, you know, even the film and TV review, everything he looks at, the history show, everything he looks at. The current affairs, and he's a really good lad. And he says, Johan, he says, good evening, Frank, Darryl, Dino. In my humble opinion, if you want to call out booing, might as well get rid of cheering for a goal. Football is a game of emotions for the fans.
Spot on.
That's brilliant, though. It is. It's see, Liverpool fans were full of emotion. We cry, we cheer, we're happy, whatever. We even cry when we win. We even cry when we win. There was a fella my age, that I am now. I'm not telling you my age. Right, there was a fella my age, and he was behind me in 1977 in Roma, at Roma. And we beat, and I turned it out. I was just jumping up and down like a lunatic. And I turned it, and this fella was just standing there crying. And I said, "What are you crying for?" He said, "I thought I'd never see this in my life." And he was my age then, he was an alpha to me. Do you see what I mean? So you cry, we cry with happiness. We cry with frustration, because it's our emotions, it's our football, it's us, it's you and me and everybody else, all the chat. And that was a great point by young Johan. It really was. And it really is, and it's just full of emotions.
Frank, when at the final whistle, when we clinched the league the other week, me and my lad, when we embraced, we were emotional. Do you know what I mean? It was like it was incredible. You know what I mean? That feeling, like I've never felt nothing like it. It was like 100 orgasms, something I could explain.
I hope your wife's not listening there. Exactly. Do you know what you just said there, full of emotions, you and your lads,
Yeah.
I think I've seen Liverpool win loads of championships. I have. I really have. And albeit that I was here doing a watch along, I think people seen how emotional I got. They really did. And, when I thought about it during the night, because I was drained, I was really drained, and I really was. And I'm just sitting there on my own, and I'm thinking, and I was thinking about the chat. I was thinking how the cop was, everybody. And I think it's not because when we last won the league, and it was an empty stadium. I think it was every league we won previous. I've been standing on the cop, Shankly walking around with his hands up. Absolutely brilliant, emotional. But to me, winning that league, I think capped everything. Every championship winning side, I think it capped it all because of the raw emotion. Would you agree with that? You were there, do you know?
100%, mate. I mean, like, I was just like, felt like rolling. Do you know what I mean? It was like an out of body experience. It was crazy. It was just so weird, the feeling that I felt, and like I was thinking about my dad. Like, I don't speak to my dad. I don't get on with him, but I was still thinking about my childhood, going all the games with him and going everywhere, following Liverpool all over the country. And I was thinking in that moment, I'd wanted to like hug him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then call him a bellend after it, but and like me brother as well. Do you know what I mean? And I had my lad next to me, and I was thinking about my granddad who's no longer here. Do you know my lad's my stepdad. You know what I mean? He's not mine biologically, but he lost his dad when he was 5, so he was emotional thinking about his dad. So there was a whole range of emotions. It was just incredible, mate. And like I said, I've been in Madrid, I've been in Istanbul, but that feeling when that final whistle went was just something I'll never ever forget, ever.
Do you know what you just reminded me then as well? A game I'll never ever 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 forget. And I was standing on the cop, swaying about, and it was the San Etienne game where we beat them 3-1 to go through and to go on and win the European Cup, for the first time. I'll never ever forget that. And what you've just said there, that'll resonate with you right through until you get to my age, and you'll still be talking about it. You will, no matter what. if you know what I mean. I think it's brilliant.
I think, to be honest, it was, for me, it was an emotional season. It was an emotional win because obviously the stuff that's gone on in my life the last year, but it was extra special as well, considering when I was the last time we won the league was 1989. I was 3 years old, so I didn't really get to experience that, and I didn't get to experience it because of COVID. So this is going to be the proper one. So I'm well excited. Me and Austin will be watching.
But to be honest, Darryl, with you and your, the last year, what you've gone through has been absolutely horrendous. There's no one can say anything more than horrendous. And, obviously winning the league, and it must have given you a great lift mentally.
Yeah, it did, massively.
That's lovely, that's lovely. And Callum says, I prefer some Atletico Madrid, to be fair. Uper Atleti, whatever that means. As he says, we are late Real Madrid.
Well, they can give us Alvarez if they want. I'll take Alvarez. It'd be quality.
And that's the one who agrees with you, the vlogs. I agree, I said that on Facebook posts. Let him know how we feel. Taboo, he knows now. So, leave him now to play his game. We're trying to get 3 points. Yep. I just want to go through a couple of these, boys, because I've seen an old friend.
Frank?
What?
Frank, I've just had breaking news come on my phone.
Go on.
Exclusive. Liverpool have agreed personal terms with Jeremy Frimpong on a 5-year deal.
With who? Frimpong?
Yeah, 5-year deal. Agreed terms.
Okay, so he's on his way. Well, that's good. That is good. Wait till we see him now at AXA and, signing the thing. Or at Anfield. And Paul always says Trent's injuries have been minor. I said that, Paul. I did say that, honestly. And he was never going to pick up a serious injury. I said that too. As he can't tackle fish up it.
House in the tackle. But a shit bag when it comes to tackling. Like he doesn't go in full-blooded for challenges.
No.
That's only been like a recent thing over the last 2 years where he's like, 50-50 ball. You'll see him, he'll stand back and he'll let the ball drop. Where, when he first broke into the team, he was full-blooded.
Stephen Reed says 3 wrongs. Trent shouldn't have announced it. Slot shouldn't have played him. The club shouldn't have let it reach this far. I've no problem with Trent going. He owes us nothing. And cry arses who wanted money for him must think they get a share. Players have never give a damn about the fans, and that won't change.
What about Salah and Van Dijk?
There you go. And that's a power trip like Stephen Reed. Oh, do you know what? Me and my mate were walking up, when it comes walk, that is. Me and my mate were walking up, and we were going to market, Great Over Street Market, and we were walking up, struggling, raining. And he lives in Ireland, to Stephen, and he pulls up and gives us a lift. And we mate said, can you wait for us? He went, God, fuck off. Johan says, Dino, Harry Kane made sure Tottenham got a paycheck instead of running a town as well. There you go.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
Nigel's a big red. Yes, Frank, of course. He's a big red, and he's always there. This is the point, You've got the likes of Darryl. You've got the likes of me. You've got the likes of our Francine, and other members of my family. and we can't get tickets. I'm friends, and we can't get tickets. And that's the way it's gone. That's our football today, unfortunately. But yet, you can get tickets everywhere else. And I'm talking everywhere. Even Man United fans can get tickets for their games. We can't. I wonder why. The vlogs. Known slot. Yeah, I think Trent will be played. Sad. He will defo play against Brighton, but I'd rather give Bradley the full 90 minutes. I think we'll all agree with you there, to be honest.
I'd rather play Curtis Jones there, to be honest.
Yeah.
If Bradley's struggling.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Paul Owie. Trent will want to play against Palace, and most of the fans will be happy if he doesn't play. I agree with you there, Paul. I totally 100% agree with you, and I think Dino agrees with you, and also Darryl. Honestly, we agree. As a homegrown, no, hang on. Trent will be there. No, hang on. Johan says, as a homegrown lad, Trent's next challenge should have been to win a treble with Liverpool. How about that? How about that?
Yeah.
I think that's a cracking comment.
It's good, Johan.
No one mentioned that.
His next
challenge
should have been to get 21 and get it ahead of Man United.
Yeah.
That should have been the thing.
So there were challenges, weren't there?
Yeah.
But all it boils down to, lads, and the chat, is money. It's greed. Yeah. It's pure, unadulterated greed. As you said, you hit the nail on the head, Dino. When you said, he could have asked for a transfer and gone when they wanted him. He could have just said, I want to go. He doesn't need the money, but he's seen that big paycheck. And his brother, who's his agent, he's going to get around 2 to 3 million.
It's how you look at it, though, Frank. With Konate, he's demanding £200,000+ a week. But for me, I don't think Konate is worth that kind of money yet. I really don't.
No. Well, Nigel says, isn't he getting 20 million signing on fee? I think he's getting more than that, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I think it's more.
But it's gonna work out. He's getting that 20 million sign on fee, but he's also being paid less at Real Madrid than what Liverpool offered him. So it kind of balances the books there.
Yeah. If he thinks he got booed bad by Liverpool fans, just wait until he goes.
He's going to get murdered. He's going to get murdered.
And they actually have a racial intention there as well. Yeah. They're quite a racist set of fans, Madrid.
You took me thunder away there, because they are. Look at that young Vinicius, and he's unbelievable. That lad, great player, and they boo him. And doing all these gestures, if you know what I mean, you know what the gestures are, and throwing at young Vinicius. I think they're horrible. I think that's great, though. The media and rivals trying to make people think it's only Liverpool fans that boo players. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That did you chance, do they? But when Liverpool are booing a player, it's everywhere. But when other fans are singing about Hillsborough and all that, not a word said.
No. Have you noticed that, though? That again, you're spot on. Every fucking time Hillsborough gets mentioned, like these chants, and even I was reading, I was looking at, I like Lawrence McKenna, and he gave a great assessment all over this. It was very good, and he was reading out some like tweets, X's, and he said one of them, and he read it out and just went, always the victim. That's a well-known saying for these people who haven't a fucking clue what they're talking about. So they just got it. They can't come out with a comment, and they just say always the victim.
It's like Gary Neville, Frank. It's like Gary Neville on his podcast last week said, Liverpool don't have the right to boo the national anthem. I thought, you ain't got a clue, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I don't like Real Madrid, because they're a part of the Spanish establishment, the royalty. I could say a thing, but I'm leaving it for on Friday when they have me thing. I won't say it now because I don't want to bring politics into it. And that's why I brought Prince Charles, as he was then, around St. George's Hall. I brought him around. We had a great conversation. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because it was my job. And I brought him around. Great chat, great showing him things. Oh, yes, and all this. And he sent me a letter, a personal letter as well, signed. Letter handwritten. Point is, the respect I lost for them, what little respect I had for them until last week when he did that. That's all I'm saying on the matter. As he says, personally, I think he looked embarrassed when he played enough games to receive. I said that, if he goes and he's like, even with his mates, even with his wife, his lovely wife, and his family, and said, yeah, look at that. They're going to go, you never fucking played. That's just a gesture. And I think it's wrong. I just think it's wrong on the lad. Hey, caro mia, Toscana, come stani? Ciao, Franco. Hello, all. Just checking in. Slot's been stubborn when it comes to Chiesa. He's not given him a chance. Doesn't look like Chiesa was. No, he wasn't. He wasn't Toscana. He wasn't a Slot signing. Definitely wasn't. He wasn't even a Hughes signing. I think it was an Edwards signing to appease the fans.
It's just a low reward, wasn't it?
Say that again.
Low risk, high reward. You're paying for him. You can get that back.
Yeah. Should have been given it's no use going on about him because it's just sad. That's it. That's in my opinion. Johan. Toscana, good evening, legends. Isn't that lovely? From our Man U fan. And Barry says, last word from me, but I hope for his sake he does well. Otherwise, he's going to be or feel really isolated. I'm not wishing him anything. I'm not going to wish him, I hope he does bad or whatever. I'm not going to wish him. I hope he does well. I'm not going to do that. He's gone now. He's finished with me. He's not a Liverpool player. He's a Real Madrid player. End of. I don't talk about Real Madrid players. I don't talk about Everton players. I don't talk about Scunthorpe United players either, or Hartlepool. Don't talk about any players. The only players I talk about is this. Anyway, I think Diaz says Christopher scored 17 goals in all competition. Hope he stays.
Gakpo's got the same as well.
And there was talks about it. There was talk about him, people saying get rid of him. And he scored some cracking goals. And I mean, cracking goals. Yeah. What do you think of okay, yeah. I'm going straight to you. Then to you, I'll just, when Zeno finishes, and you just take over then, Darryl, okay, on your opinion, on the rest of this. Who do you think will be going? We don't really know for sure, but in your own opinion, who do you think will be going this summer out of Liverpool?
Nunes, Jota, Elliott, Gomez, Tsimikas, and Kelleher.
Go ahead.
Exactly the same as Dino. Exactly the same as Dino. Exactly the same.
Do you know I'd like? Not like. You know, out of that list, I'd like Joe Gomez to stay.
Me too.
Because he's so versatile. He's so loyal. I've said it loads of times, to be honest. Do you know when he gets dropped? He can play a great game and gets dropped. A few games later on down the line, you know, he can get picked again because someone's injured and plays a game and then gets dropped. And he never, ever, ever moans about it. And he's our longest serving player. But I hope he stays, you know, if he can keep away from injuries. I think I'd like him to stay. And that's just, I don't know whether it's sentimentality. And I've always said, you know, being a hypocrite here, there's no sentimentality in football, especially where we're concerned, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you, Frank, to be honest, about the Gomez situation. I think with Gomez, it's the age thing. I know he's 27, 28, but
age, yeah.
I think he's got more time to develop Quanta. That's what he's going to be thinking that slot, that he's got more time to develop him. And there's a lot of suitors for Gomez, so I think that's the only problem.
Okay. So, okay, I've got to bring this fella up, Dino. Got to bring this fella up, and I think you might know who I'm going to bring up. Kevin De Bruyne. Go on, Dino.
I don't know, mate. I'm conflicted on it, to be honest. That's like, I mean, he's leaving City because he's finished. What's he really going to offer Liverpool that he can't offer Man City?
Same as Milner. And look what, you know, people love Milner.
Yeah, different type of player to Milner, though, isn't he? I mean, Milner...
No, I understand that, you know. So what could Milner offer, you know, City? But he left and he came here on a free.
Age.
I think his experience will be really good.
Accept that.
I mean, it depends on like the contract and what they were offering him. I wouldn't like be giving him stupid wages.
No, I think he'd expect that though, wouldn't he? You wouldn't expect. I don't mean he'd expect us £400 a week, but he will expect a massive drop in wages.
But he is always spoken about being a Liverpool fan, and all his family are as well. So
yeah,
you know,
and he's only come out and said that. So
is
there something there, you know, with these rumours that we could be talking to him and he could be coming here? Because if it'd be me, I wouldn't come out and say, I used to be a Liverpool fan and all my family are Liverpool fans. You just wouldn't bother saying anything. Yeah. Just leave it until, you know, the right offer comes along, if you know what I mean.
I think,
but, you know, could be advanced.
In the middle of like what we're losing with Trent in his terms of ability to like play a through ball or a cross. I mean, you could gain that through the Bruyne. You know, if you're looking, you know, 20 minutes to go in a game and it's not going our way, and you need something different, throw him on. Do you know what I mean? He could be a game changer.
Yeah. No, you know what? Have you been speaking to her, Francine? Because she said exactly the same. She said, Dad, you know, not that he'd be playing every game right through the season, but he can offer something, and I think he'll be okay. You know, I think he'll be a good sign, especially for a fee, without a fee, you know, on a free. And that's what she said. Can I just ask all the people out there, listen, do you know, if you haven't subscribed and press the like, you know, I need to get my algorithm up there, you know, can you press the subscribe, please? Costs nothing, as you know, and just press the like just to get it up there, please. Thank you. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. That's all I'm going to say. The Red Bird. Barry, if you're talking about Trent, I don't hope anything for him. His heart is no longer with it. That's a great point, and this is what I've been trying to say, and I don't care about him. His heart is not with Liverpool, it's with Real Madrid, and that's the point. That is the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back in 10 minutes, Frank.
All right, mate. Go on. Go on, Darryl. Go on, mate. No problem. See, it never goes away, does it? We'll just go down here, lads. Dino. Steve. Let's go, champ. Right, Steve. Glad you're with us. Paul Burke says, what's doing my head in is he's going on a free. Now, Paul's a friend of mine, good friend of mine. There every week, well, in their own way. But he's there, he's a big red, he's like you, me, and the rest of the chat. And 60 million signing on fee for him, his brother, and we give him the best 20 years of his life, not the other way around. And that's what I keep saying. We made him. We molded him. As I said, people are going on and saying, oh, you know, he's the best player to come out of the academy in the last 20 years. I think they've forgotten about Steven Gerrard. He's the finest academy player ever up to now. Up to now, Steven Gerrard. Not him. Toscana. Hi, Johan. Hope you're well. She's lovely, Toscana. Really, Paul Bear. He stopped being an LFC player when he said he's getting off. Fact. And that's true. He's got a Real Madrid shirt on and a Real Madrid mindset, and slot plays him. I couldn't believe that. Dino, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was the same, mate. I was, especially after like his name got booed when Jordan the lineups and all that, and then obviously when he came out to run to do his warm up and all that, he got booed. So I think Slot should have just, you know, read the room a bit better and just realised that you know, there's going to be a negative reaction again. But having said that, it's, you know, if you want to boo him, if that's your right, you know what I mean? That's the only chance that you're going to get to let him know how you feel.
I think you made a great comment there, you know, when we first mentioned it. You know, people are paying good money to go in that ground to watch Liverpool play, see the bench and seeing Trent there, see the team and seeing it. And, you know, it's angered people. But there's a spin by some of our own fans who I know and saying, oh, they're not Scousers doing that. They're outside fans.
There is Scousers, mate. There's plenty of Scousers.
Of course it is. And it's wrong for them to say it, to try and spin it for some reason.
I tell you what it is, though, mate. The divide is like the younger generation of fans and the older generation of fans. There's a bit of a split in like ideology and stuff. You know, the older generation is like let's not wash our linen in public and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I think the younger generation that are on, like, you know, the social media and all that, I think they were probably the most vociferous out of the lot. That's not to say that there wasn't like older generation fans booing, because there was, but I think it was more like a younger, slightly younger than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I think it surprised everyone. Dino, did it surprise you when you walked in that ground, seen the team and seen Trent on the bench? Did it surprise you?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, you know, it surprised people, because if there was someone new who was angered and frustrated by the way Trent ran his contract down, they could have said, listen, we won't boo. We'll slow and clap him. You see what I mean? They could have made something else up. But that's the only way to vent your anger and your frustration. At that lad who turns his back on Liverpool, as I said, he's got a big moral up and a quote that it's the dream, you know, Liverpool, and it's shocking the way he did it. And it's just my opinion. It's not to go and play for Real Madrid. It's because of this. How much more money does he need?
Frank, when he said in an interview on Sky that he'd rather win the Ballon d'Or than the Champions League and captain Liverpool, you know what I mean? It was set in stone there and then that he weren't signing.
Well, there you go. He'd rather win the Ballon d'Or rather than the champion. Fucking asshole. And the vlog says, imagine that, getting in Frimpong, Kerkes, and that Dean Hussein lad, the defender, with a striker, but we will still need a defensive mid. I've always said that. Lee. We definitely need a defensive midfielder. Will Enzo go this summer? How do you know? There's one for you. Will Enzo go this summer?
No.
So do you think so?
No, and I think you want to keep an eye out on Stefan Bajcetic, who's done really well in La Liga. Yeah. And you know, he showed his qualities when he played for us a couple of years ago, but obviously his body broke down because of the intensity of the league. But he needed games. He's gone to Spain. He's played near enough every game that he's been there, and I think he could be a really, really important player going forward.
I'm going to ask you a question here. Obviously, you've seen him play, and I haven't. I'm being honest. Has he filled out at all, or is he still like slim?
I mean, I don't know. He didn't look. He wasn't small.
No.
So I think he's got the height. I think he's got the build, and technically he's really good as well, which that certainly helps in football in this day and age. So I think Stefan Bajcetic is one to keep an eye out on.
Another one, yeah. Well, he's bound to come back, isn't he? Because the year's loan's up.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point to be honest, there, Dino. I really do. And Paul always to the Redbirds agree, but Trent and many greats have left with our blessing, and they've left with our blessing. But that was just horrendous what had happened. Yusuf says, I don't know why Slop brought him on, to be honest. He knew full well what sort of reception he'd get. And there you go.
Trent knew himself.
Say it was you. And you were sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden you came out, not knowing that you'd be in the squad, not knowing. And then all of a sudden, you're on the bench, right? I'm talking about you, Dino. And you were on the bench, and you got called on. What would you have done? Would you have gone on or just feigned an injury, or just say, oh, can't get on my leg or whatever? Was you faint? Because I would have done.
I'd probably have said I've got the shits or something and gone down the tunnel.
That's it. That's what I mean. But he went on, didn't he? He went on. And I think it was more embarrassing for him as well. That's why I blame Slot entirely for the mishap.
I'm glad it happened because he knows in no uncertain terms how we feel about him and the way he's treated the club. It's not the fact that he's leaving that's angered people. It's how he's cultivated it over 2 years.
The Redbird says, hit the like and subscribe, if not already. Thank you, Redbird. Thank you. Where's the Anfield Road tonight? Must be here working or something. At Anfield. And Steve says, cheap broke FSG have turned fans into club accountants. Shocking. Pay Canate what he wants. Maguire, Stones, James are getting. And that's right, you know, they're on a lot more money than the likes of Canate.
I tend to
And,
agree with.
you know, are they better than Canate?
I tend to agree with that before. I don't know whether Canate is worth what he's asking for.
Well, there you go, you know, but it's up to us to say. It's just like up to you to say it.
Yeah, it's all right for fans to say, oh yeah, pay the money, FSG and all that, but you don't want to pay money for someone, give them more than what they're actually worth. And that's Steve. He needs to get. He'll have to get that on his gravestone when he passes away. Cheap broke FSG.
Yeah. I'm just answering that. Just a quick question there. Just read, says Paul Owie, a headline that Goodison will stay in. It's the same guy, stay in the same guys as the Everton women are going to play there. Oh, that's okay. So they're keeping us up.
Shame, innit?
That's no fucking interest. The Redford says, Arsenal fan on their channel was asking her, is it because of for fuck's sake?
Yeah. He said he was saying, is it racially motivated and all that? He was saying.
Did you see that?
I've seen it, yeah, but there was a Liverpool fan that was sat next to him and he shut him down straight away. And even like there was like four of them like that. There's like a Liverpool fan, an Arsenal fan, a Chelsea fan, and a Tottenham fan, and they all just said, "Nah, mate, you're well off there. Like, there's no way that it's racially motivated in any way."
But I think that's, you know, a slight dig. It's not like a proper question. You know, we might as well get rid of, I think, the majority of our team, then, might we?
Oh, Frank,
racially motivated.
I think it was just. I mean, he was a man of colour himself. He was a black man himself. He was saying,
it makes no difference. Yeah, well, that's why.
Oh, mate, some of them have got major chips on the shoulder.
Of course they have. Well, that's one of them. I said, no, that, you know. I'm glad you told me. I'm glad you told me, Redbird. Frank, would you support LFC if the royal family owns LFC? Yeah, I'm being honest, Steve. Yeah, I'll tell you for why. I'm a Liverpool supporter. There has been it's like now, Steve. It's like now. I can't get a bloody ticket. I can't get a ticket for any match whatsoever. I've tried and tried and tried. Now, the point is, with me trying, the unfortunate thing is, I could have easily have said, I've had enough of this, fuck them. I'm not going to match no more. I'm not supporting them, fuck them over. I could have easily have walked away. Easily. And we've got owners. I think that's disgraceful. You know, people think that they're all brilliant and everything. Oh, look what they've done for us. They've done fuck all for us. They made a lot of money on us. And I could walk away from that. I could easily do. So, you know, whether they were Saudis, whether they were Qatarians, whether they were anyone, you know what I mean? I'd always support Liverpool Football Club because I'm a Red right through. I wear this with pride, and you know we sing the bird upon our chest, and I'm very proud of the bird on our chest. So no matter who owns us, Steve, honestly, no matter who, I'd support them, but I won't fucking like me. I don't support the owners. I do not support them, but I've never once said, and neither has Dino, neither has Daryl. I've never once said FSG out on here. Because we're not like that. We're not like that. But I don't support them. I don't support the owners. So yeah, whoever owns us, I'll still support the Reds. We went through a fucking terrible time. under when the likes of Rosenthal and all those lads were playing. We were fucking awful in the 90s. Terrible. Down in, the relegation zone. Terrible. Supported them through thick and thin. Supported them. So, yeah, I'd support them. Gary Neville, though, stop that. We don't swear. We've got ladies living in. Who went to Davos to get fiddled by the elites. I don't respect him. And he's a Man United fan.
He's on the board. Go on.
What did you say there, Dino?
I said, Johan's on the board. He knows.
Yeah, of course. The vlog says, don't forget we still have, we've just been talking about him. Lee, his name's Lee, you see. He's really in MI6 and he goes under the thing Liverpool vlogs. You're right, Redbeard, mate. I was thinking about Coutinho when it all went sour for him. Yeah. And now he says, Paul says to the Redbeard, clowns are suggesting all sorts of crap, but we know it's the way Trent's leaving that's pissing us off. Spot on. I'm going to go right down, boys, because I think there might be people on there who's trying to have a go. Oh, it's Toscana go. Oh, excuse me, there's loads of there's the North Red, for example. I haven't seen the North Red. Madrid are not interested in Trent the way we were. They won't tolerate that jogging back when they lose possession. If he thinks booing hard to take, good luck with that bunch of disease. Yeah. Well said there. Well said there, not that. Well said, mate. Canate's on his last year as well. Yeah. And as Darryl said, Madrid are looking at him as well. As they look at everybody else who's like that. I don't want De Bruyne, says Youssef. He looks like a shadow of a player he was. You're right there, because remember when we played them and he was through and it was a terrible mistake by Verge and he was on 1-on-1 with Kelleher. Now, in his normal days, he would have buried that, wouldn't he? Remember that?
Yeah, he wouldn't have even thought about it, would he? He just slotted it.
Exactly. So I think, they're good. They're good. And that's what Youssef says, the North Red says about De Bruyne. We'll spend more time with the physio than on the pitch. No thanks. There you go. There you go. And Steve says, if Alonso plays 4 at the back at Madrid, Trent fails. If he plays Trent as a wing back, Trent plays well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Alonso likes to play 3 at the back, though, so I think that will help Trent.
It'll advance him, you mean?
Yeah.
Like with Madrid, yeah.
The same with Frimpong. Frimpong done exactly the same. He played Frimpong as a right wing back, and he'll most likely do the same with Trent. But
I'm a Liverpool supporter. Can I get a game? I think you'll sit on the bench. You're Federico, unfortunately, not Red. And Toscana, she says, definitely we should keep Gomez. Every club needs a Gomez. That's a cracking, thank you. I said that myself. Yeah, keep him. Prefer him over Quansah. He looks nervous on the pitch. He does as well, doesn't he? And do you think that's because of Arnie Slot? You know, because you said before, Dino, that he looks the shadow of himself from last season.
could be down to the manager that he thinks that the manager doesn't fancy him, but it also could be down to a lack of belief in his own ability.
Would you agree with that, Darryl?
Can you hear me okay, Frank?
Yeah, we can hear you, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't. Kevin De Bruyne, no, thank you. He's washed. He can't. If he gets released from Man City, we're better than Man City, in my opinion. So I think, yeah, it's too long ago for me with Kevin De Bruyne. No.
Well,
No,
Paul always says 5 years ago we would have paid good money for De Bruyne, but we need a younger, fresher player now, and we do. Do you think that we need to sign? Right to you, Dino. Do you think that we need to sign? I'm not going on about fucking some of the, war chests or anything like that because they don't exist. Do you think that we should, if we are going to sign, say we're going to sign 3 players, do you think that they have to be not potential, but here and now players that have got the experience and can just walk into our team? Do you think that, rather than potential?
I think you've always got to look for a player who can contribute now, but also, what about if that player's can perform here and now and also got the potential to be a great fit going further forward?
Yeah.
And I think the likes of Kirkers and Frimpong are that. And even that Dean Hussein, I think him as well. I think he could be Virgil's long-term replacement.
I think Real Madrid are getting him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to Real. And don't forget, albeit he's Dutch, and he's got Spanish nationality and plays for Spain. I think he'd jump at the chance at Real, and they are very interested in him. So I don't think Liverpool stands a chance.
If you register football, I mean, Real Madrid are interested in you. You just use bully tactics, don't they? You know what I mean? To sign players. They're a horrible football club. Hate everyone.
Of course they are. They're horrible. Yeah. And they should be brought up before a tribunal and saying, hey, you. And finds out the skin, I don't know whether you're aware of that. This is why we want all these players on a free. This is why they're so bad now. They haven't got the money to buy the players that they wanted to buy.
Well, that's why they get all the little lapdogs going out to the players' representatives and all that and saying, yeah, if you sit tight for 2 years, we'll sign you on a free and we'll give you...
Exactly.
Do you know what I think we're going to get?
Say that again, Darryl.
Do you know who I think we're going to get as centre-back? Do you know I think who we're looking at? And I think there's generally a chance we could get.
Hato.
Hato, but the one I think that we're looking at really is Mark Gahey from Palace.
Oh, right, okay.
I think we're really looking at him.
Okay. That's what I mean. We look at players, but we never get.
You're going to have to pay for him now, aren't you? If you want Gahey.
Say that again. Well, what?
You're going to have to pay for him.
He's got a release clause this season. He's got a release clause of 60 million now.
So you can't leave him out. No chance we're going to pay that. No chance whatsoever.
It depends on it. It'll depend on Hussein and what he wants to do. I think Hussein's probably the number one. And then if he might go for Gahey, I said that ages ago, actually.
Okay.
And, well, he said he wants to come to Liverpool as well, hasn't he? He's been.
Yeah.
And the red says, I think it's about De Bruyne. We don't need past their prime players. That's not a winning mentality so far for me. De Bruyne is a no-no.
I like what you said before, Frank, you know, about the experience of him, like Gary McAllister, you know what I mean? There was a few eyebrows raised when we signed him, and he was great for Gerrard's development.
Yes, totally agree. Totally agree. And it is experience, isn't it? The Anfield Road. Good evening. You know what? The notification didn't go off. Go away. You should have been here. You shouldn't have been in the pub. Should have been at your house. Notifications are a big excuse. It's like when my students were coming in, you know, they were late or whatever. The bus, one fella honestly said to me, the bus broke down because he was an hour and a half late and it was only a 2-hour lecture tutorial. And he said, the bus broke down. You know, the excuses. Trent was sold last summer for 50 million as a homegrown player. The club can spend 100 million, says Steve, without breaking the financial fair play rules. The fans would have demanded FSG to spend this summer when TAA leaves, Trent leaves. FSG played a blinder. There you go. There you go. Frankie and Dino, look at all them. They have soft drinks for you and the hard drinks for me. Harry's gone. Where's he gone?
Has he gone?
I think he has, yeah. Yusuf, he's never winning the Ballon d'Or. Let's be honest. When's the last time a right back got a Ballon d'Or? Oh, you're right. I don't think they've ever had.
No.
Paul Owie. Quansaro's looked nervy at times, but he's never really had a good run up in the team. And he could still come good. He could still come good. The Anfield Road. Frankie, Piero and Capi is the one that we want. He is the one we want. Yes, I want him. You know that I want him, don't you, Darryl? I've wanted him for a very long time.
Been going on about 2.5 years now.
I think he's great. I wanted that Kvaratskhelia as well for the last couple of years.
Yeah, we missed out massively there.
Terrible.
What a player.
Is Dino there? I can't see his face yet. Let's see whether I can see his. Oh, there he is. There he is.
There he is.
My phone was over. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You missed loads of excitement and, you know, they were all booing each other then. So you missed it all. Anyway, Johan says the fact that Madrid is actively trying to create a Super League because the La Liga and CL money isn't enough to top up, that they are tapping players up, makes them look extremely evil. Do you know what? That hasn't been said for a while because we have said it in the past about, do you think that this European Super League will come about? And I'm going to ask you right away, Darryl, do you think that, you know, the last time we wanted the Super League, and we were one of the forerunners, weren't we? When we said, oh yeah, right, our owners, that is, not we didn't, but our owners. And do you think that that'll be, you know, risen again into the domain about this?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's not gonna die down. It'll be back. It will keep coming back. Real Madrid.
Okay. What about you, Dino? Do you think that
they want to Super League?
Okay. I think personally, Frank, you know about the Hegelian dialectic, don't you?
Go on.
Problem, reaction, solution.
Go on.
I think the European Super League was a ruse to have to like gauge everyone's like feeling on it, and I think it was kind of like they created the problem to see the reaction, and then the solution was this new Champions League format that they've got now, and now you're gonna have like 6th place and all that going into the Champions League. I think UEFA slowly but surely bringing the Super League into the football domain.
Can I flip us over, please? Okay. Right. We play teams. You go to the game at Anfield because you're a season ticket holder, and we try to get tickets, can't get any. But when we do go, sometimes they're awful games, and I mean awful. The last time I went was with my little granddaughter Sophia and my daughter Francine, and that was the Southampton game, and it was dreadful. It really was dreadful. Anyway, that's by the by. It was a cup match, and would you rather see games like that, or playing the likes of Barca, Real, Bayern, and all the other wonderful teams of Europe in a Super League, and the likes of Man United or Man City, and all these super teams of the Premiership, and just have one big European Super League in a couple of divisions, if you like. You'd have a first tier and a second tier. You'll have a first tier of the elite of the Prem and the Bundesliga and La Liga and whatever other Eredivisie or whatever, the Bundesliga as well. So would you rather have that, or keep playing Southampton every other week?
I like the status quo, Frank. It was what I was brought up upon. So that English football for me is its best, and the likes of when teams like Fulham and Bournemouth can come to Anfield and they can beat you, or go to Old Trafford and win. That's what makes the English Premier League so hard to win and so special. European nights are special because they only happen every so often. When you start playing them all, it'll lose its mystique and its glory, and it'll just become a watered down competition.
What was your finest European night? Do you know?
Chelsea 2005.
Was it? Mine was. I mentioned it before. Was the San Etienne game, and I've seen loads of games, European nights, great atmospheres, everything. But that night, young, impressionable, we were going out and we were playing the best team in Europe at the time with Rocheteau, unbelievable player, Bethenay, Six. These were all fantastic players, and we beat them. That was the finest. That was the finest I've seen for the atmosphere and everything. And I was at the Chelsea game with the, the no goal, if you like.
Yeah.
No goal.
I mean, for me, that Chelsea game in 2005 was just like, I was 20 years of age then. Do you know what I mean? And I grew up watching mediocrity and being fed off stories, of great Liverpool teams of the past, and like, this was my fair. Like, obviously we'd won the treble under Ule and all that, and that was great. But to be in the Champions League semi-final, going to the to go to Istanbul for the final, that that atmosphere was just incredible.
It was incredible.
Like the ground was shaking, the Kop was shaking. It was just surreal.
Well, if you could imagine me in a standing Kop only, just standing, in 1977, right, standing there, we're playing the best team in Europe, and we're 1-0 behind anyway, and we're standing there. And you'd think that, you know, it was shaking. We were swaying all over the place, singing. That's the atmosphere. And then when David Fairclough scored that goal, it frightened me actually, because the roar was deafening. I had titanitis in my ears, honestly, the next day. And it was just so unbelievable. But that's European rights. And we can't, if we go into a European champ, we'd have that, and it'll just fade away.
Yeah, I agree.
It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. So you're spot on there. Good shout. It was a great shout there. And the Anfield says, Frankie Dino, Darryl, all that matters to us as a club is to buy some bodies to stay ahead of that lot behind. We're already so 15 points stronger than our nearest challenger. So we're already boss. Great comment. Great comment. And we're right, but Dino, you can't deny this, that we've been in this same position as before when we won the Champions League, the Premiership under Jurgen, and we bought no one. Yet we were saying what the Anfield Road was saying. We were saying it then. We need now to strengthen what we've got, and we've never have done, unfortunately.
Stand still, you got left behind.
Yeah. Quadruple, yeah. Paul always says it's inevitable for me that it will happen as the greedy owners only see the dollars. They do only see the dollars, big dollars. It's worth $6 billion now, you know. It came out in it today, I think, that Liverpool is worth $6 billion. Do you know what I think, though? Do you know what I think? If someone came in with a £7 billion offer, I think they'd sell. I think they will sell in the end, you know. I really do. The blog says Trent will end up at Fulham or somewhere in 2 years' time. They will eat him alive. I read, if he isn't good enough and he's being dribbled past 55 times, was it not sounding good? Grass ain't greener. You like the blogs. Did you say there though? He was it you who said it? He was, you know, past.
Yeah, this season he's been dribbled past 55 times, and Frimpong's been dribbled past 55 times in 3 seasons.
Jesus, I didn't know that. That's some stat, that. Surprising, very surprising. Some fans I've seen were saying why we are moaning about the fee when if we did get money for him, it would go in the FSG pockets anyway. Crazy, but he's right. But I think it's the way it went. Trent became, this is just me, Trent became a multi-millionaire playing for us. You went along to see him. I've been along to see him. The majority of these lads on here have been along to see him. Playing, paying good money, cheering them on, having a big memorial done, you know, and all this. And I think that's what angered the fans. We made them. And yet, as you said before, he could have easily have asked for the transfer and we would have sold them on in January and got something at least for it. Sorry, that signal is shocking. I can't see Frank or Dino. Apologies. That's no problem. no problem. And the blokes, Fulham would only take Trent on a flick. Let's go right to Brian Fennell. That's my mate, Brian. Johan says it will kill the league system and the opportunity for lower league clubs to rise through the ranks, essentially creating an American non-relegation league system. Brian Fennell, hiya Brian. Link's not working. Why?
You got to send them the new one.
I don't know. The links have been sent, even to George as well. All the links. Sorry about that, Brian. And I don't know. Jason doesn't look in on this because he doesn't like football. Link not working. European nights, Barcelona 2019 or Chelsea 2005. And that's your choice, isn't it? 2005.
Therefore. There's been loads, though, Frank.
What?
There's been loads of European nights, like the one against Arsenal in the quarter-final.
I loved it. Loved it.
When Babel scored that goal at the end, the ground shook then as well.
It shook again. I was in, what was it? I was in the main stand. I forget where it was. Yeah, it was in the map. I don't forget where it was. And there was 6 minutes to go. Yeah, no, I was in the Annie Road stand looking down. And, you know, when they scored in the cup, and the fans were just, you know, they were really bouncing. And I looked over to, you know, Arsene Wenger and Pat Rice, and they were jumping up and down. Oh, it was great because there was only 6 minutes to go. 6 minutes. And I just sat back and this fellow, I don't know who the fellow was. And he went, we're out. He said, no, we're not. No, we're not. We played for 90 minutes. Us. Right from the kickoff. That's how you were saying, right from the kickoff. Babel. The ball was just it to Babel. He went through, brought down. Colin Torrey, wasn't it? Brought him down.
Emmanuel Aboué.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Emmanuel Aboué it was.
And,
he tried to jump on Babel's back, didn't he? Look, trying to get a piggyback.
That referee was brilliant that night, by the way,
because
he never took any messing, did he? And he went like that to one of you know, watching the replay on the telly, and he went like that to one of the players. The first 15 minutes of that game, Arsenal being the best team I've ever seen at Anfield. They were incredible for the first 15 minutes of that game. Liverpool just couldn't get the ball off them. They were just unreal. As our France team, though. But the Prem is better than the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
It's the best league in the world, isn't it? Really? Is that France saying no? I'll have to answer it, you know.
Well, mate.
She says, I've sent Brian a link Jason sent me. Okay, babe. Go ahead, because she was going to come on tonight. So she sends in Brian Fernell a link. That nice. That's if he's still with us. And Anfield, my best European moments was away in the Champions League to Bayern Munich when Klopp's front three terrorised Bayern and Sadio scored. And we battered them 3-1. A German threw a bratwurst at us. Snidey them Germans, aren't they? Especially with their bratwurst in their hands. Never trust the German with a brat burst. Is that Brian? I'm going to add you, Brian.
How are you?
there?
Hey, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Hi. How are you?
oh, we're in fine fettle. But Brian, I've got to ask you. Obviously you've been looking at everything. You've been on social media, obviously looking at all the things. What about the Trent situation? What was we've been talking about it at the beginning of the show. What do you think?
I missed the first part of it. Apologies. But I'm as I've seen on other groups, I don't have a popular opinion. I think he should leave out the front door and leave with honors, regardless of whatever's happened. And the reason for that is, as far as him running the other argument, he ran down the contract, left the club no money. I'm sure, yeah, that's a problem, but it's not his job to fund, sell to buy. That's the club's problem. And plus he was he was a starter and one of the best offensive right backs in the world, one of the best for 8 years, underpaid for the market. So gave him a hometown discount. So he runs down the contract. Oh well, okay, but no, he leaves with honors. He should be in the parade. And call him a rat, call him whatever you want to, but every club engages in some, well, I won't say that word, family show, shenanigans with recruiting players. We did some stuff with Van Dijk. Real Madrid just took it to the next level. So having the players run down the contract, do whatever. Okay. Is it ethical? Suspect, but it's not illegal. So no. Trent walks out the front door. He walks out a man with honors. So good luck, Godspeed. After that, well, we move on.
Well, that's the thing, you see, because it's so diverse. What you're saying to what we've been saying. A lot of other people have been saying, because it was the way he ran down his contract. And but I blame Slot. I don't know whether you heard that. I blame Slot for bringing them on, for even putting them in the squad, to be honest, because 48 hours before, he just turns around and says, I'm going.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
To me, he turns his back on Liverpool. He turns his back on the shirt that he was always, or supposedly, proudly wearing. So
did he really?
All that away.
I'm sorry. Well, here's the thing. I mean, did he really turn his back? Educate me.
Well, he has, hasn't he? There's no other way, Brian. You can, I can't spin it any other way. I'm not even spinning it. I'm just saying. Yeah. This is my opinion.
For 2 years, he's been cultivating this move away from Liverpool. Okay. He's been meeting with Real Madrid, taking their advice. He's refused 4 contract offers. And in January, he was told if he wanted to go then, he had to put in a transfer request. And sorry, Brian, but in no uncertain terms, he's a rat. Okay. And it might seem strong, but the way he's treated Liverpool Football Club and the fans, he's took us all for mugs.
I mean, okay, I see that, but again, I don't know the guy. I'm just throwing this out there. 3 years ago, we were ready to run him on the next train out of Lime Street. Ready to send him packing. So as far as him taking us for mugs, it works both ways. You're only as good as your last performance, only as good as this. Sorry?
I don't remember us trying to run him out of Lime Street.
Oh, really? All right. What was it? I mean, he got injured. Was it in 22? Whatever it was. He had injury spell, and people were saying, "Oh, he's done. He's past. He's this. Get rid of him. Replace him. Do this." You don't remember that?
I think you're getting mixed up with the media, mate. No Liverpool fans wanted to get rid of Trent, mate. And I'm a season ticket holder. I go to the game, mate, and there's no way that was happening.
To be honest, I've never heard of that.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, maybe that was media, social media. No, I mean, no. I'll take your word for it. I'll defer to your expertise. I mean, I only go to I've been to average 3 games a year. So no, I'll take your.
We support all our players. We support them. You've only got to look at Stevie McManaman when he decided to run down. his contract. But he told us more or less at the beginning of the season, he said, I'm not signing the contract. So we all knew that he was leaving. But it was the way Trent did it.
Okay.
And people were saying, they were looking at his body language, they were looking at everything, even when he scored, when he was doing all this and running over to the fans and,
cupping his ears, cupping his hands to his ears.
And doing that, and
okay,
we've thought that it was a gesture. We got it all wrong. That don't worry, I'm in your ears, and but he's telling us to shut up.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's doing that little gesture. Okay, all right.
And that was wrong, for Trent.
All right.
Well,
I still say he still contributed to the success of our last 8 years.
No, that's what we said. We have actually said it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
But then again, this season he's been injured so many times,
and
people like myself have said, I think he's not actually feigned his injuries, but deliberately kept out of certain games so he didn't want to get a serious injury.
He down tools, what you're saying?
And that's just me, I haven't got an evil mind, as you know, but that's just me.
Okay, no, well, fair enough. No, again, you guys are much closer than to me.
Well, Paul always says here, that City winger, Doku, must have dribbled past Trent 40 times, but didn't get past Kanate. Kanate's the one, really, He's great, Big Eben. He's great. And I hope he stays. I hope he doesn't run down his contract. Anyway, the Anfield Road, Daryl Merry, your connection is as bad as those on Mount Everest.
By the way, hi, Daryl. Yeah.
He's gone, he's gone, unfortunately. Paul Milligan says, greetings, folks. I don't mean to be blunt, but forget Trent. He has already left us. And I've got to say this, Brian. So fuck anyone that isn't willing to run through brick walls for our magnificent club.
Sure.
And that's what Shankly said, didn't he? He said, I want a player to run through a brick wall for Liverpool Football Club.
Right.
So, as I said, I just blame Slot for it all.
Okay.
I blame Slot because this would never have happened. All this controversy would never have happened. He only had to leave Trent out, and that's it, not playing. At 48 hours after him saying, I'm leaving. That was a terrible decision by you. I don't know whether it was naivety or just plain stupidity on behalf of.
To be fair to Slot, though, Frank, I know, Slot's getting it for bringing him on the pitch, but I mean, Trent's only announced he was leaving because he wants to get off early. Because Real Madrid told him, if you want to get off early and come the Club World Cup, then you're going to have to tell everyone that you want to go so that Liverpool can release you early. That was the only reason why he announced it. He had no intention of announcing it until the end of the season.
Well, okay. He should have said to Real Madrid, I'm not saying that. I can't jeopardise, the fans who supported me for years. I'm not saying that. Because he would have gone anyway. He didn't have to say that, though, Dino. He didn't have to say it.
Well, he
going to Real anyway.
His contract runs to the end of June.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, that he wants to get he wants to leave early to go to this World Cup tournament.
Club World Cup, yeah.
So that's the only reason why he announced. I thought that was sort of odd. I mean, okay, after the title settled, he came out with that announcement. But Real Madrid told him to do that? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Daryl's had to leave because he said he can't even see or hear what's going on. So he had to leave. Bad connection. So there's no worry. Honestly, there's no worry, Daryl. Take care, mate. I think YouTube is playing up. It's playing up for me too. I think YouTube. Oh, does he mean here? Us? No, can't be. And Daryl says, I think YouTube's playing up. So, you know, the blog said it. I don't know. I think no one else has said anything, or they would have done.
No.
Honestly. Paul always says, we have had some great European nights, but we are European royalty. Now, there you go. That sums everything up very nicely indeed.
Yes.
Arsenal this season had a brain aneurysm, just reaching the semi-finals. For us, that was like a round of 16 matches. They want to calm down. Nobody on these Isles has been to more European finals than us. And he's right there. What did you think? Honestly, Brian, you know, the likes of, I don't know, you must have seen the match, mustn't you?
I did, yeah.
Okay. And there was a banner there, and it has Arteta as, you know, always the bridesmaids, never the bride.
I saw that.
It?
I saw that. That was great. That was classic.
But he couldn't take it as anything, and he was very angry about it. Did you know that, Dino?
Well,
he gets angry over everything, mate. He's always an ex-Evertonian, and he's like demented by us, isn't he? Because he can't beat us with the league.
But, you know, it's only bad. And he knows what Liverpool are like anyway. You know, the fans and banners and everything else. He does know all about them. And he takes offence. I always remember David Beckham and, you know, that big doll he made and pass it. You know, he never said anything. You know, they were saying it was, what was it, a posh spice.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun, but he never said anything. He just, okay.
He used to laugh it off.
Yeah, exactly.
He used to clap the cop when he used to take corners.
Yeah. I wonder, someone said, I wonder why he does that so much. Doesn't know anything, Aaron, that's why. Anyway, the outfield says, Frankie and Zara, lads, do you remember Barca side that came to Anfield and took, Clivert, centre forward? We couldn't get I don't know whether you remember that. Destroyed us, and our grounds ended up applauding them in 2001.
Yeah. Champions League group stage.
Clivert and Overman. We couldn't get the ball off them for half an hour.
No.
Overmars, weren't it? Overmars scored the third goal.
Clivert, yes. So
the whole cop stood up and clapped.
Yeah, that's right. And I was saying that there's a lad who comes on here, Brian, and he's a Leeds United fan. He's a lovely fella. And I mentioned about, I'm going back to the Shankly days, and Leeds were playing us at Anfield, and they beat us 1-0 and to win the league.
Yeah.
To win the league, because they were our biggest rivals at the time. And the whole of the cop was applauding. And as Jackie Charlton was walking off, he looked over to the cop and he came over and he was applauding the cop. Then the other Leeds players started to come over and they were applauding the cop. And Jackie Charlton said, I've never heard any opposition fans do anything like that. He said it was fantastic that these people were applauding us, their greatest rivals, for winning the league on their own ground.
And we just lost the league as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He beat us to win the league. And we
Don Levy told Billy Bremner, didn't he? He said, go down to the cop. And Billy Bremner said, I don't know about that, boss. And he went, no, go down to the cop. And he said, one fella got on the shoulders of another lad in the cop and started shouting champions. And the whole club was shouting champions to Leeds and clapping them. And Don Revie sent a telegram, didn't he, thanking to Bill Shankly, thanking Liverpool and the fans and that.
Well, that's what I mean.
respect.
And the lads who comes on, Fernie, they call him. He said, I remember that night. I wasn't there, but I remember that night. He said, and it was fantastic. And that's why the Leeds fans have got a great affiliation to Liverpool because of it. Because of it. It's as simple as that. And yeah, you know, don't like to say it, Brian, but the Southern fans, unfortunately, you know, they despise us. Do you know what one of them said? Tell her what one of them said on that text, please, or that comment. Do you know? Tell Brian what they said.
What, the racism one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brian, there's like this channel on YouTube. It's called DR Sports, and they have like an Arsenal fan, a Liverpool fan, and like Tottenham fans and all that.
Yeah.
And like a little panel, and like this, the Arsenal fan said, he said, I've heard that it was racially motivated and all that, but he got shut down by the rest of the panel, like saying like that was ludicrous to say.
Because of Trent, is he's racially motivated?
Yeah, saying that the boos were had the racial like intention behind it.
Can't count on that. I mean, it's not the '80s anymore. It's not Barnes. You're getting booed every time he touched the ball. Or no, I don't know. I can't comment on that. I don't know if it is or not.
That's why we're getting rid of
absolutely not.
It's a knee-jerk reaction, but yeah, I don't know if it's. I mean, if he did,
it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered what colour skin he was. If you're a Scouser playing for your boyhood club and you turn your back on Liverpool, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, yellow, whatever. You're going to get the same treatment because you're viewed as one of us.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't comment on that, but if what you're saying, the things he's done, and he got his head turned by his brother agent, his family agent, and letting Real Madrid call the shots, then yeah, okay, he deserves it. Yeah, you give him stick all you want to, but I mean, I still say he still should get should get a walk out the front door, slam it behind him, but he should be able to walk out. It doesn't negate all the things he's done for the club.
I totally agree, and I think he deserves his place on the bus at the end of the season.
Right.
But as far as playing for Liverpool again, I think that should be it.
Oh, sure. It'll take a lot of contrition. He'll never see captain, but it'll take a lot of contrition to come back and say in his late 30s or whatever, if he wants to come home.
If I was being on that panel, you know, I was just sitting there and that stupid, horrible comments come out. Do you know what I would have said? I would have just said, yeah, you know what? That's why we got rid of Manny. I would have said that. See what they would have said. You know what I mean? Is it racially motivated? Pathetic.
Well, that's sort of a trend today, isn't it? Everyone's eager to jump on that identity train and say, okay, this is just the reason why. Like, well, no, there's more to it.
Cool.
So,
well, anyway, let's change the here, boys, and get on to this. I'm right to you, Brian. And it's the Liverpool FC vlogs. And he says, I hope Slot plays Gomez up front the last 10 minutes against Palace to try and get a goal. What a way to end the winning season with icing on the cake. What do you think of that, Brian? Because he's never scored for us, has he?
No. You know, why not? I mean, what was it Carragher's last match for us? They gave him the green light to shoot from whatever. So play him up there, let him shoot. And on another side note, who here's blood pressure has dropped down to next to nothing seeing Palace this late in the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
not about guys either, you know.
Yeah. I looked at the schedule of the fixtures. Sorry, bad yank. The fixtures, and I saw Palace. Like, you know what? This is the first time in ages I'm like, okay, not stressed, not worried.
No,
because it's all wrapped up. So yeah, Dino,
okay.
You worried about Palace?
No, Dino, what do you think of what the vlog said? play Gomez for the last 10 minutes up front so we could try and get a goal.
Joe Gomez couldn't score in a brothel, mate. You could get rid of the goal hanging rule, like what Dixie Dean done, and have him goal hang, mate. He still won't score.
He's never even scored in an offside position, has he? He's never put it in the back of the net, even to be, for it to be disallowed. No. And remember that wasn't so long ago. Forget who was against, and it was the ball came over. He had the open goal. He only had the goalie to beat, and he put it in like a back
straight at the keeper,
right to the keeper. So that's I feel sorry for Joe Gomez.
Well, he has an own goal, right? Doesn't that?
Oh,
still scoring.
Yeah, he's got a few of them. They're not fun. Right. Okay. So let's see. The only I can't see that because I've got my glasses on. Oh, the only CL semi
Champions League
to see was Chelsea 1-1 when the cops started the Elephant Man chant at Costa. Oh yeah. Yeah, he was great. I didn't mind him, Diego Costa.
Yeah, he's boss. He's a bit like Suarez, man. He's like, you love him if he plays for you, but if he plays
was, and he did give it 100%. Yeah, I said at the time when I think Chelsea, I don't know whether they were buying him or whatever. I said, Liverpool got him because we needed someone like that at the time. With Diego, looked a mean man. The Anfield Ross says, Frankie, Dino and Brian, we are all supporters. If you could play for Liverpool, would you ever say to yourself, oh, I'm bored of this. I need a fresh start elsewhere. Oh, and I'll leave the club for free. Dino?
For a start, even if I even remotely thought about it, my dad would slap it out of me and tell me no chance. So my family are all Reds, and there's no way my family would even stand for it. So absolutely not. It wouldn't even be entertained.
What about you, Brian?
That's a tough question.
Not really tough.
I'm putting myself in the players' shoes. I mean, for me as a supporter, no, I'd say no. I'm there for life. I'm there for good. But as a player, and also when we grew up there, there's nothing wrong with saying you want to see what else is out there, or change your scenery. I mean, I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. But you're saying the manner in which he did it, okay. But there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, all right, I've won everything I need. I could win here. I've won the lot. Only thing short for me is captaincy or what else is out there. Okay, then go. But you're right. Do that up front. Say that up front instead of playing the game.
We have a Man United fan on here, and he's a lovely fella.
Okay.
He comes on all the programs, that I do. Whether it's films and TV, whether it's current affairs or history as well. And he said before, because one of the reasons that's on social media, and it's people who are saying, well, he's won everything at Liverpool and it's a new challenge to him. And what Johan said, he said, okay, but why couldn't he stay with Liverpool for a new challenge of winning the treble?
True.
It's true. It was a cracking comment.
Comment. But we're not Trent. I mean, he may want to change the scenery for reasons. Again, it was just all. I guess the biggest offender is the execution or the execution of his plan to exit. So, I don't know.
Well, Paul always says it's a good point from Zeno about Real Madrid wanting Trent early, and Trent is not going to upset Real Madrid with his dream move so close. I want to give a toss because if the way they've gone about it, trying to get him for 2 years, well, not trying, they've already had a words, and he's already promised them 2 years ago that he'd run down the contract. There's no way if Trent would have turned around and said nothing, he would have said, I can't say that. I've got these fans, you know, and I've got the club, so I can't say that. He only had to say that. They wouldn't have walked away from Trent, signing Trent. They would never have walked away, and he would have still been playing in the whatever cup they're playing in. I think that's disgusting.
Do you think Bellingham had anything to do with this?
You wouldn't.
The pursuit or lack of pursuit?
Definitely. Well, Real Madrid have told him, you know, listen, can you have a word with him? And he's had a word with him 2 years ago at England, because he's never plays in the Premiership, Bellingham. And he's had a word with him when he's gone, you know, on England duty. Do you fancy playing for Real Madrid? They want you.
Oh, I'm sure they talked.
And most probably gave him a phone number. Can such a body ring you tomorrow or when it? Yeah, okay. And he's been speaking to them. He said, yeah, I'll come down. I'll go there. I'll go to your club and I will run down my contract. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
And Johan, the Man United fan, he says, unfortunately, on this day and age, Anthony Taylor or Michael Oliver will book you for running into a brick wall. And he's right, because I'm being honest here, boys. I like Michael Oliver. You know, at the beginning when I used to see him, he was very fair. I thought he was the best referee in the Premiership. But this season especially, he went to Dubai, didn't he? On whatever it was he went on, and you know, to referee some games. He was invited over as a special guest referee, and he raised a lot of money. And it was just nonsense the way he came back, and was very biased. I'm very biased towards Liverpool, by the way. That's the way I look at that. I was gutted when Risa put on one of our, when Risa put one in our net in the last minute. Well, he got rid of him then. Rafa, remember that? Rafa got shut of him.
Right.
That was against Chelsea, wasn't
it? Yeah.
That beat us, that put us out. Well, no, it's it, isn't it?
Yeah, we got beat 3-2 in the second leg, didn't we? So we ended up being the goal leg. Got us knocked out.
Yeah. And he got rid of him right away, didn't he? So Rafa was ruthless. I thought Rafa was great, by the way. I don't know about you too, but I thought he was brilliant.
I loved Rafa. I marched around the ground when we thought he got sacked.
Yeah.
With Stievo.
Stievo? What was he saying? Don't say what he was saying.
Yeah, you get struck off here.
Oh, God blimey, Stievo. Anyway, the Anfield Roar. Frankie Dean O'Brien, what's your views on these June transfer window? I don't know whether you know, but there is going to be opening on June the 1st, and then the 10th of June for the Club World Cup. Then June the 16th to September the 1st. I don't know. What do you think? What he's saying?
Yeah, so I think for the teams that are going to the Club World Cup, it's opening earlier, isn't it? The window's opening earlier so that they can get all the, which is why all the talk about Trent, all the talk about Trent and all that, and release fees and all that have been coming out. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, if Liverpool were in the tournament, I'd probably agree with it. But the fact that they're not, it's like it doesn't really interest me, to be honest.
Right.
Anyway, that's that. Sportsmanship is a lost art, says Johan. It's always been a lost art, to be honest. Sportsmanship went out the window quite a
True.
few years ago.
True.
That's why we've got to move quickly already. Hussein is up to Real Madrid, so that's one target gone. There you go. I told you, we ain't getting him. I said that a couple of weeks ago as well. So. John Rooney.
Hoyson's, okay, I didn't hear that one. Hoyson's off to Real Madrid. Okay, all right.
John Rooney, AGT, I don't know, Alex, from the Cop TV was hosting the show on Dr. Sports, Frank, and put the Arsenal fan in his place. I know Alex, by the way. I know Alex.
Yeah, he was the one. He was the one who was. I didn't know whether you knew him, so that's why I didn't name him. But he was the on the on the panel.
I've been on the show.
Have you?
Yeah. With Mario
Janinski.
Yeah, and he's nice, you know. He's a nice guy.
He's starting to sound more and more Scouse all the time, isn't he?
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Seeing his interview, he got interviewed on by Alex after the game, and I was watching it, and he's like, lads and all that.
That, he always say that, yeah. But the point is, I was interviewed by him. Do you know when I said I was at the Southampton game with my granddaughter, Sophia and Francine?
Yeah.
And they said, will you come in there? I said, yeah, I'll have a talk. So I went on, outside the grounds, and he said, will you come down? And he mentioned this, but I said, I can't walk anymore. I said, I won't be able to go. Okay. But it's really nice. So the Anfield Roar says to Johan, your lot were sportsmanlike when we run in 7 goals past you, lad. Sorry, Johan. That was a low blow from me. And he laughs. He's only, it's only banter, Johan. Don't take him serious. You're what? Racially motivated, eh? That's the show. That's the show. Young Alex is on, isn't he? I hope he put him right. It's nothing to do with skin colour. It's to do with a fella with no morals or,
Spot on.
Is what he's saying, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's shocking to say that, though. I really do. I'm disgusted. I never heard that until tonight. Until you said it,
I'll send you the video after this show, Frank.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Alex, the fella said it to the wrong fella.
And it's an Arsenal pundit who said this, or just someone on the chat?
Yeah, he's on Arsenal Fan TV.
Oh, okay, all right. Those guys, all right. Yeah, I have to see that. I have to watch it to get full context.
I was honest to God, I would have turned around and said, if it came to me, I would have said, yeah, that's why we got rid of Mane and all the rest of the black lads, because we don't like all the black lads playing for us. That's what I would have said. Put him in. I hate that. I hate that. That's really upset me, though. It really has. Coming out with a filthy comment like that about us. And Trent. The Anfield was pleased to see the lads relaxing in Dubai on the yacht, fully deserved for their achievements this season.
Yeah, it's a going away party for Trent, apparently.
There you go.
Slots in Ibiza.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I believe so, one of the lads said. Brian says, Frimpong. There we go, lads. FSG time of the year again. Just lie back in their suits, smoking cigars on the whiskey at Fenway Park, laughing at us all, getting excited. We'll never build on success. Hedge funders. I'm not going to ask Brian about it. He knows all about FSG. And he doesn't like them. Oh, yes, he's American. He doesn't like them. So you're not the only one.
I followed the New England Patriots in the NFL, and obviously like they're from the same area as like the Red Sox and all that, and like the Red Sox fans all over there, they're quite split on them, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. The Red Sox fans are ready to burn them in effigy or run them out of town because of what last couple of seasons because they're not spending. And funny enough, some are blaming Liverpool for not spending, just like we blame the Red Sox for them not spending. So yeah, they're just cheap. So they being FSG. I'm sorry. I'm just watching this in the background with the captions on this the Arsenal TV thing. That guy's an ass clown, Ty.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt. I mean, consider the source. I don't take anything he says.
He says it. There's people saying, but it's not. It's him. It's him directly saying that.
It's him. I've never heard that. I've never heard any sort of racism, especially where I've gone in the grounds any time throughout the years. And I even go back to the Shankly days. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
No, not at Liverpool. I've heard the racism. I heard it not at Anfield, no. But
no.
Liverpool fans are like one of the most graceful fans for embracing cultures and stuff.
Right.
There was a coach road, the Liverpool fans coming back from a European away game, and they let an asylum seeker and all that get on the bus with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like we're far from racist. We're the most multicultural city in Europe.
Yeah, I remember them putting him on the coach. Then we stopped at the channel. Then we put him in a dinghy, didn't we? But he got in here all right. He made us over safe. He's in a 4-star hotel now. But anyway, Zaryl says, Arsenal fans grind my gears. Best team in Europe, my backside. You can call us bin tippers, but we are never racist.
We were singing to Arsenal, best team in Europe. You're having a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. How are they the best team? Come on.
What plane of existence are they the best team in Europe? Where? Does Europe mean something else, or what?
I mean, we could lay claim to being the best team in Europe since we were top of the Champions League phase. We have just as much right to claim to that as them. Just because they went to the semi-finals. I mean, we actually beat PSG and we went out on penalties. Unlike them, they got murdered in both games.
Yeah, right.
By that Kvaratskhelia, I think he's great.
Okay, until they get that little that badge, for winning 5 championships, UCLs, they're not even in the conversation.
No.
Get one first, Yeah. Get to 5 finals before you even talk about
Arsenal
that.
have only got it. What have they got? A Cup Winners' Cup, Frank? Is that in, isn't it?
I haven't a clue.
I think
that was
Cup Winners' Cup. And that was so popular that it's defunct now. They got rid of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have, haven't they? Yeah. It has been defunct, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's gone with the milk cup. Yeah, I mean, where's that? Okay, Arsenal Cup Winners' Cup.
Paul always says the players on the lash in Dubai and Slotty having an Ibiza party. It looks like Brighton could be having their own party next Monday night. And all Bryant says, Liverpool fans never did nor never will be racist, sectarian. They got the whole world, unlike the others. Because when we was having our capital of culture in 2008, a lady put in, our local rag, the Liverpool Echo, wanted a slogan.
Yeah.
And this lady, when I first read it, I said, it's the best slogan I'll ever read this.
I know what you mean.
Liverpool in one, the world in one city.
Yeah.
What a What a brilliant slogan. And that just came from an ordinary housewife. She just threw it in. And it became our slogan. And I think that's brilliant. And Darryl says, I'm moving from the rat now. Who is Trent, by the way? Some fake scouser. Darryl, you're spot on about Arsenal. They take after their manager. They do, actually. It's the press. Then they believe it. Obviously, the press will use them to try and hide us. They think they are Brazil. But that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. Listen, boys, I'm going to finish now. I've been on since 7 o'clock. I've been up since 6 o'clock. And poor Frank's knackered.
Okay.
Wants his cocoa.
Oh, do you start at 7 now? Okay. Oh, I've been late.
I've been on since 7 o'clock. It's 2.5 hours.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm not late. I'm late. Okay, yeah. Okay, I thought you started at noon again. Oh, yeah, 8 o'clock your time. Okay, so
it's always 7 o'clock. We start our time, Brian. Now.
Okay. All right.
All right. So the next time.
Yes.
We're on next Tuesday.
Okay.
7 o'clock. Is that okay with you, lads?
7 o'clock works. Yeah. That's 11 for us. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dino, you joining?
You're all right with that, Dino?
Of course, mate. Yeah, sound.
Okay, so I'll see you two chaps next, and Darryl, hopefully, if he gets some Wi-Fi's and, God blimey, it's breaking up.
See you later, Brian.
Yeah, take care, Dino, please.
Johan says, when I see Liverpool and racism in the same sentence, I ignore it. The city with the most varied population, ancestry, percent in the UK, jog on. And that's Johan. That's Johan. And look at the way his name is spelled. Yohan. And he's a Man United fan.
The only divide in our city is what football team you support.
Exactly.
I mean, Howard Gale, he's mentioned a few instances, and Barnes and Cyril Regis. I mean, but we're talking about not here and now. Yeah. But the 70s and 80s weren't exactly kind to black players. So that's all I'll say. But to say just automatically jump to it's because he's black. Well, okay. He didn't offer anything to support it, but that's his tie. So why breathe more life into it? It's tie. He's bitter. He's a sunshine pumper. Screw him. I'm sorry, Frank. Go on, close your show.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to go down what the lads are saying here. And Christopher says, night, Frank and everyone, up the title winning Red, says the wonderful Christopher. And Brian, our Irish fella. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of this, but Brian, like, Ola is Brian, right? You know what I mean. And
he's not one of them, is he, Frank? Ola by night, Brian by day.
Sorry, Brian. Wait, it's nighttime. Orla.
It's shocking, isn't it? But anyway, he says, be back on more regular, Frank. Better work hours now. Great to see you, lads. You'll never walk alone. Isn't that lovely? Lovely, that. He's an Irish lad, by the way. And cheers, legends. Take care, Frank, says our Man United fan, Johan.
Later, Johan, lads. Man United fan ever.
Lovely, though.
Johan.
Cheers, boys. Love you all. Love you, Dad. Yeah, see. I must be his dad. I'll definitely want a DNA test,
I'll say, who's your daddy? No, what's going on here?
Come to think of it, Frank, he has got a little look of you.
Oh, what are you like? No room for racism, says Brian. That's right, mate. The Red Bird. Nighty night all. Thank you. Oh,
We're not
IBR.
racist. We only eat Manx.
Right.
IBR, look, he's just come on. I don't know where he's been. And he says, evening, John Franco, young Janino, and the new fella.
The new fella.
Brian.
The guy you called Uncle Phil last time. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's love. That's lovely. That. You've got me, lads. Yeah, Brian. Brian is all. If you say so, Frank. Say so. That's you, that going in, Brian, very nice.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn.
Frank's not fat, though, says Daryl. Love your granddad, says that. Oh, well, oh, blimey. And Barry says, what's next, Frank? I'm doing I forgot to mention it before. I'm doing a special history show tomorrow, Barry. I hope you can join me tomorrow night. I'm doing one. So, see if you can join me, see about the history of Liverpool. And I was talking to a worker today, and I was telling him about these people I bumped into in St. George's Hall. They were American, and I was telling them about St. George's Hall. I was going to give a sound test because I was giving a major speech that night, in the concert room. And I said, come on, I said, I've got an hour. I said, I have to go into the city centre. I said, do you want me to show you a few things, show you the American connection? He went, yeah, sure. So anyway, he went down, and there was a girl with them. The rest of them were about 6 or 7 fellas, big fellas, And this girl, she had a big floppy hat on. One of them big floppy hats came down, just bounced as she was walking. She had a bandana around her face, and big pair of shades, big pair of sunglasses. And anyway, and she was small. She was very small, very slight. So we were walking down, showing them all things. And you know who it was? The girl and the band. I couldn't believe it. It was Gloria Estefan.
Oh, yeah.
Gloria Estefan. And she was a real sweetheart, real sweetheart. And they were on the way back. I don't know whether they were flying from Manchester or here. I'm not quite so sure. They appeared on the Echo Arena the night before. And she said, if only, this would have been yesterday, we would have invited you to the after dinner party we had. Shame, innit?
Yeah.
Gloria Estefan.
My ma used to play her records on when I was a kid.
Did you?
My ma did, yeah. I didn't.
I should have told you that we're all racist in this city. Wonder what she would have said. Okay. Barry says, will do, Defo, so he's joining me tomorrow night. And Johan, we will be there. And Barry says, did you take her back to yours for a coffee, Frank? I wish I could have done.
Did you do that conga, Frank? Is that what you're saying?
You know what, though? You're the size of the fellas.
She's what?
Bigger than you, Brian.
Who?
Yeah, bigger than the other fella, Daryl, as well.
Well, with the bodyguard.
Anyway, I'm gonna finish, boys.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's blushing now.
It's been absolutely wonderful. You've been super. The lads on the chat on lovely Toscana. She's been absolutely wonderful as well. And you're blushing, Frank. Yes, I am. I am. But anyway, I'm going to finish now. Thank you so much, Brian. I'm made up that you got to us. And also you, Dino. I'll see. I'm only going to have you two on next week. Is that okay?
Mate.
Is that okay? Sure. Is that okay with you, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, people. And,
Up the champs. See you later.
Ciao, everybody. Ciao.
Ciao.
Vediamo. Ciao.
Ciao. Ihoa.